Eddy's been wreaking havoc online, so I think it's time for a stance guide. Today we'll go over what moves he has from Negativa, which attacks go into stance, and how to use and counter it. You can enter Negativa manually with down 3+4. While in stance, you can move forward, but not back, and you can transition to the left or right into Bananeria stance. As for his options from stance, to start with, he has 1-3. It's not a natural combo, and the second hit is -14, but is a counter hit launcher. The first hit is 0 on hit. Next he has Negativa 2-4-4, which is mid-high mid. The first hit is I-18 and -2 on block, but if they try take their turn, the next 2 hits will string together on counter hit. After the first 2 hits, he can cancel into Negativa again at +3. Much like his 1-3, decent reward but very risky to finish the string. His Negativa 3-3 is his Hell Sweep that gives a stack of Mandinga, which powers up his Bananero stance. It requires a clean hit for the second to connect, unless it's on counter hit. Here is the max range for the clean hit. It's a jailing string, meaning if the first kick hits unclean, the second can't be ducked. It is -13 on block though. The first hit is -4 on hit on its own, and staggers on block at -26. To mix up with the low, he has Negativa 4-3, which is his fastest move from stance at I-15. It's mid-mid and unsafe at -13 on block. It is hit confirmable, but it's pretty tight, so you'll need some practice. It's also a heat engager, which launches with a heat dash. He has a nice long-range shoulder with Negativa 1+2. It does chip damage and is -8 on block. Lastly, he has a big launcher with Negativa 3+4. It goes under highs, but is launch punishable on block, so use it at your own risk. So we know what options Eddy has, but how do we know which ones to use? Well, the key is in the attacks that transition into Negativa, as it will give us a clue as to which options will work best. The first and already most spammed is forward 3. It's a long-range, high-crushing approach tool that leaves you in Negativa stance at +6. On counter hit, you're at +15, which means you get a free Negativa 4-3. It's also only -13 on block, so you won't get launched unless you're versing Kazuya or Eddy. At +6, you have 4-3 as a frame trap, and Hell Sweep will trade favorably with down jabs, giving you a full combo. Once they start respecting your frames, you can mix them up, poke them, or transition into Bananera stance. Note that except for at tip range, you can't backdash or sidestep out of Hell Sweep's clean hit range, so you truly need to guess. Next is Bananera 1, which transitions into Negativa at +8 on hit and +5 on block. On counter hit, you get a free Negativa 3+4 for a chunky 44 damage. On block, 4-3 will trade with down jabs, leaving you at +10 for free slaps at the wall. Everything else is interruptible with down jab, but if they try to interrupt with a high attack or a quick I-13 frame mid, all of your options will win. On hit, the world is your oyster. Everything is a frame trap except for Negativa 2 and 1+2, which will both trade with down jabs. On hit and on block, your low-mid mix-up is completely unavoidable with movement, so you have free reign to run your mix-up. His up forward 4 is an I-22 long-range homing mid that's safe at -9 on block. On hit, he automatically transitions into Negativa at +12 to 14 depending on the range. Nothing is guaranteed here, but literally everything becomes a frame trap. His full crouch down forward 3 is a nice plus frame mid that's +9 on hit and +6 on block. On block, it's the same situation as forward 3, where 4-3 is a frame trap, and Hell Sweep will counter hit launch down jabs. On hit, everything becomes a frame trap. I know it's a long list so far, but we'll have some general rules afterwards to make things easier. In heat, Eddy gains access to quarter circle forward 4, which is a long-range high that does a hefty amount of chip damage. It's a knockdown on hit, and +9 in Negativa on block. Like everything that's +8 or higher, everything becomes a frame trap. When Eddy has at least one stack of Mandinga, he can choose to transition into Negativa after Bananera back 4 by holding down. He's +6 here, and you know the drill. On block, 4-3 is a frame trap. Hell Sweep trades for a launch. On hit, everything is a frame trap. And last but not least, Eddy's Heat Smash on block transitions into Negativa at +6, so it's the same situation again. So there are a lot of other ways to enter Negativa, but all of them are either really unsafe or can be interrupted with down jabs. Let's go over some general rules for when you're playing Eddy, then go over how to counter Negativa stance. First of all, you want to try always enter Negativa at plus frames. That means using the moves mentioned earlier, and avoiding using other moves for this purpose. If your opponent is challenging you on block, or after forward 3, use your fastest moves, which are Negativa 4-3 and Hell Sweep, as generally you'll frame trap them. If your opponent is respecting you, it can be risky always going for a mix-up. You can transition into Bananera to go for more plus frames, or go for safer pokes. Of course, still run your mix-ups here and there, and use the Negativa forward dash to mix up your timing. Now, the task of figuring out the counterplay. Let's do it. So yes, you can't move at all after being hit with plus frames. It would have been nice to be able to escape Hell Sweep's clean hit range with a backdash, which would have opened up further mind games. But here we are. If you get hit with any of his plus frame Negativa transitions, you need to take a guess. Now it would be easy to complain and moan, but we don't do that here. First of all, his 50-50 mix-up is way riskier than other characters. He has to risk his life to get a launch, and the low gives no oki. If the Eddy is doing nothing but run this mix-up, the odds are in your favor. Negativa 4-3 is kind of scary, and in Heat he has one attempt to launch you. But be sure to punish it every time. The thing about Negativa stance is Eddy has no way to continue his plus frames after the first mix-up, besides for Negativa 2-4 down and going into Bananera 1. It's fake pressure though, and you can duck the second hit of Negativa 2-4 and launch him even if he finishes the string. As for Bananera transitions, as soon as you see him transition, hit him with a down forward 1, which will beat everything if you're quick enough. Speaking of Bananera 1, if you block it, even though he's +5, you can down jab to beat everything. You'll trade with Negativa 4, but that's not a bad deal. In every other plus frame case, never ever challenge with a high attack or movement. You can armor, but keep in mind he can block in Negativa now. So, once he's plus frames in Negativa, take the mix-up. It's okay. He has no way of safely enforcing more plus frames, so if he tries it, you can deal with it. What if we don't want to take a mix-up? Well, we have to target the moves that go into Negativa. His long-range threats are forward 3 and sidestep 3. Avoid using high keep-out moves. Quick mids, orbitals, and moves like Jin's forward 4 will work well. As for sidestep 3, always down forward 1 right after. He can block it, but it will interrupt everything. When he's close range, all of his plus frame moves are relatively slow, so down forward 1 is your friend here. If you made it this far, good job, and thank you. I hope this helps with your Eddy or with shutting him down. If you have any new strategies, let us know in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching.